Compassion, awareness, wisdom. Okay. So, in this evening's prepared talk, I shall discuss, those of you who know me well, but I did write something out this morning that I wanted to, I thought would be a good thing to read out. Okay. So last week in the talk, or 2 weeks ago, we were talking the idea of learning how to see the room as opposed to the furniture. So I worked with that theme, looking for the openness or the spaciousness in the situation as opposed to the solidity of the conceptual mind. So here's another thing. Calmness is the doorway. It must be directed to. It must be woken up with a quality of looking that is both quiet and receptive, wakeful and earnest. Quiet, looking without idea. Receptive, open and fearless. Wakefulness, alert and present, nothing in the way, no distractions. Earnest, sincere and determined. When we are in this state, there's a natural feeling of easefulness and flow. We nurture this state with breath and calm. We nurture this state with awareness, aware of what the mind is doing in this moment. We familiarize ourselves with this state again and again. This aspect of our experience is a reflection of that which is infinite, that which abides nowhere and everywhere, where innate wisdom has a place to shine through. Resilience. The other thing that we need is resilience. The ability to come back, to return to and to be with this, or at least look towards this infinite, this spaciousness. Resilience helps us reconnect with our purpose, our values, reconnect with our North Star. If we look at our experience, if we look at our practice, if we look at our experience, we see we do well for a while and then we lose the thread. We get lost in our suffering. We begin to see only that and forget about the other aspect of our experience. Resilience is the ability to come back again and again, to recommit again and again, refusing to buy into limiting self-views. This is how we grow. This is how we learn. This is how we strengthen. This is the path. You're on it and you're doing just fine. We just need to tweak a few things here and there. So that's it. That's all you need to know. Maybe. So there's a simplicity to the practice. There really is. The confusion is just us identifying with our conditioning, with the content of our mind. So basically, we develop this calmness and we look. We come back to this space again and again. This is, in some ways, all there is to say. And the teacher is this wakefulness that begins to present itself. Quiet, receptive wakefulness and earnestness. Looking without idea. Open and fearless. Have you noticed sometimes when you are doing well with your practice, where you're staying with it day after day, that every once in a while something slips in that seems awful untidy, that feels awful uncomfortable? We have relative calm, we have relative clarity, we keep coming back, we don't get distracted for too long. And then we get a niggle. We get, maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's a uncertainty or an insecurity, or maybe it's a fearfulness. But as we progress along the path, we get thrown off. We lose our direction. And often when we do that, if you are sincerely in the practice, I'm not talking about somebody that just, practices every once in a while, but if you're really working the practice, if, like you are, going to retreats, going to classes, studying, if you're really into the practice, there are things that knock us off, that knock you off your game. So it's not the being knocked off of the uninitiated, of the ones that haven't really gone that deeply. This is you get knocked off because really real things are coming up that need tidying up, or need to be cleared up. So we are in this place where we're spending a certain amount of time each day looking without idea. We're in an open space, relatively open space, but things come up. And it takes a certain amount of fearlessness to be able to stay with it. What's knocked you off? You're off today. I live in Peterborough, and we have a Quaker oats factory here. And sometimes you walk out the door and it smells like oats. It kind of smells a bit like porridge. But it's not like it makes you hungry. It's like, oh, there's that smell. It's not particularly offensive, but, But if you're sincerely doing your practice, there are going to be these things that well up inside you that are uncomfortable. And maybe you find yourself being a little short that day, a little irritable, or maybe fearful. or maybe anxious. For the sincere practitioner, these are signs that you are moving forward. That's why at the end of all this, I say, we just need to tweak a few things here and there, but you're doing fine. And that's the truth. That's the truth. If we look at our experience, we see we're doing well for a while, and then we get lost in our suffering. And then what happens is when we get knocked off, we forget about the other. We lose touch with that experience. But we lose touch with that experience. The quality of being calm and open and attentive is an energetic experience, isn't it? It's not a thought, I'm being calm, open, and attentive. It's not that. You know it, you've all been practicing enough. There is an energetic quality within you that you can connect with and that you carry with you as you move through the day. And even though there's ruffles on the surface, when we're not caught up in our suffering, we can look towards this other thing. And what helps us is the calm. We look for the calm. There's ripples in the water today. There's conditioning that's coming up. There's stuff, I feel a little bit off today. I've been so good all week. And today I feel fearful, I feel insecure, I feel anxious. We've lost the thread. Resilience is the ability to look past the suffering, and to see that this other thing is still there. And as I say, it's an energetic experience. And when we're in that experience, there is a sense within the body of a free flow. And you know that experience. You know that experience. Oh, I'm connected again. Calm is the doorway. Calm is the doorway. When we are in this state, there's a natural feeling of easefulness and flow. I've tried to train myself not to scratch my ear or my nose when I'm speaking, but it hasn't taken. So when we are in the state, there's a natural feeling of easefulness and flow. We nurture this state with breath and calm. We nurture the state with awareness of what the mind is doing in the moment. So we're caught up in the ripples, we're caught up in this kind of weird negative state that's suddenly appeared out of nowhere with no good reason. We're aware of it, right? Know the mental state for the mental state. We familiarize ourselves with this again and again and again, this openness again and again and again. The other word I use in this is earnest. And it's an interesting idea. But there has to be an earnestness there, a sincerity and a determination. So we're going along, good meditation, pretty good few days, pretty good week, pretty good month maybe. And then there's something scratching at the door. There's something scratching at the door. And it catches us. Sincere determination to be with that. Sincere determination up to be caught up in that. Sincere determination to remain present with it. Let it play out its game if it has to. But don't identify yourself with it. Don't convince yourself that this is who you are. We are simply walking through this door of calm awareness again and again and again and becoming more familiar with it. And knowing within that state, it is a reflection of a much deeper profundity. Right? So we start looking there. And we carry that looking with us throughout the day.